ARA History Untold has released patch 1.2, which is the biggest patch yet, and they also did this, of course, in the middle of my vacation, so I will go through this as quickly as possible because A, I want to get back to it, and B, you want to get this video. So let's talk about the new things they added, and then we are running through the patch notes one by one and all the big changes which are coming with that. Now, first, they added mod support, which is really nice. I'm looking forward to what actually skilled people can do with that. And they added also a new free leader, which is Confucius? I never know how to pronounce this name. I'm so sorry. He is a new Chinese leader, and I would say we're having a look at his perks immediately. He has the 5 constant virtues, which is farms and the upgrades provide an additional 1+ food per turn, which is like, yeah, okay, that's nice, not too big. It's nice at the beginning, but that's that. The really big part is this one. 5+ to all quality of life stats in each city for each unique type of a government improvement built within it, which is pretty insane, especially at the beginning. And like, wow, that catapults him, I would say, in an A rank easily if I would do some ranking. Disciplined build production towards government and military improvements. Yeah, that makes sense. He is a sage, which is nice, makes also sense. And he is spiritual. Quick note, my tier list, which was more a fun thing than really serious, is completely out of date at this point. Like, seriously, they made so many changes to the leaders and changed their perks and their talents and whatnot. And, like, the list is now completely useless. But I would give him an A rank without having played him yet. And there might be a possibility that he is actually an S rank, but A rank for sure. Now, let's jump to the patch notes, shall we? So we are starting with the additional balance changes. You can now start in different eras if you want to, and whenever you are starting in a new act, you will get some extra stuff on top of it. But let's have a look at the game mechanics. Technology is now controlled when units become obsolete instead of acts. This is pretty nice because people were not happy that whenever they moved to a new act, like some of the units they were still producing or they were planning to use just disappeared from the building queue, and now it will be the technology, which is nice. Starting city cap has been reduced by 1, yikes, but the Bronze Age now increases it by 1. As I said, I will do some spelling errors. Normally I try to fix that in post-production, but I'm on my vacation. I'm going through this as fast as possible. Also, keep in mind, ARA History Untold is on a sale right now, so grab that if you haven't yet. I mean, who watches this video who hasn't already have the game? Weird. This helps makes Fast Expand a more interesting choice for players. I will be honest, I think I never reached my city cap before the Bronze Age. So I guess. Cool. Okay. Armies take 1 extra turn to muster. This helps balance out the ability to reform units and reward players who spend the resources to maintain standing armies. Units in reserve don't cost maintenance. Yeah, they never have. This makes sense. Like, the thing was that with 2 turns, you could basically plan whenever an enemy is approaching and then just muster your armies at the cities where you needed them. And most of the time, you were just keeping them in reserve. Now, I don't know if 1 extra muster turn will change that. We have to see, but I think this is the right direction they're taking here. The initial C and air C formation cap is reduced to 1. City-based army cap increases delayed to higher city levels. There will be fewer armies present late game. Yeah, makes sense. I can see that. Like, the problem was also that even with the caps, you had like some huge armies, and you never really cared for the caps. So this makes sense. It will be interesting to see how it plays out, but I definitely appreciate this approach because, as I said, you had so high caps right at the beginning, and you had so many armies. It was ridiculous. Prestige balance adjustments. Productivity and tech prestige reduced slightly. Military and economy prestige increased slightly. Good. You actually have to do something instead of just producing and doing just tech stuff to get the prestige. Oh, yeah, quick note, they have also now increased the long turn timer to 9,999 turns if you really want to drag it out. Now, next, difficult levels no longer provide free quality of life. This change ensures that players experience the game pacing consistently across the levels as their playstyle improves. Good. QL penalties above Prince difficulty is reduced. I thought they will might remove this when they're talking about how they want to make it consistent, right? So, huh? That's we again we will see how that plays out, but I think that's a good way. It like that was definitely one of the reasons why I was also not really happy of going into the higher difficulties, because the game was basically like punishing me very hard while the AI got some big buffs. And yeah, it was really just, hey, they cheat, you cheat in the different direction, let's try to figure that out. That doesn't feel very good. Recipes updated to reward having necessary resources. Coins are more valuable as accelerators. Having necessary resources is rewarded over brute forcing high production. Yeah, we will talk about that, what that means when we are taking a look at the changes. But TLDR, what they have basically now been doing is they don't want you to fix everything with money, right? Like a lot of people have just been accumulating money because it was so easy to do. And whenever they wanted to produce something, they were just like, okay, here, take money, take money. Like I had games where I had so much money that most of my production was just running on it. So I get what they are trying to do here. Um, oh yeah, buildings and infrastructure. So they added some more um, items you need to produce like some of the world wonders. I know it's not world wonders, but I still call them that. I'm so sorry. This is also interesting. Added dry docks and naval bases as valid sea route connecting points to trade routes. Wait, that wasn't the case? What? Like what? You always needed a harbor? That is so weird. I'm glad that they are not doing it. This is also a big one. Added 3 expert slots to the city wards. Each expert increasing the city security bonus provided by the city wards. Yay! Your city ward is actually doing something helpful now to your city instead of just protecting it. I love it. They have reduced the library knowledge by 5 per level. Police station is adding now security per level. Nice. Racetracks now boost happiness in addition to the economic benefits. Good. SAM battery, 25 plus security. Grocer limit has been increased from 3 to 6 per nation. Can I just say, like, this makes me really chuckle because it is so insane when you were thinking back to the release of the game where the grocer had one limit nationwide. Then they changed it to 3 per nation, and now we are already at 6 per nation. Like, they really realized that people were struggling with the food sometimes, and the grocer was such a big help. And they didn't saw that beforehand, and now they are trying to make it more viable. And it's funny. Tannery max from 3 to 5, and given supply slots. Yeah. Thankfully, like since they made the changes to the leather and how much leather you need for like all those items, like the tanneries could not keep up. This is not too surprising to me. The tanneries could just not keep up with all of this. And yeah, finally they're getting supply slots, and they're finally now getting more of them, which is fantastic. Lamppost security increased to 25 plus. Nice. Weaver cost is now 25 wealth. Yikes. Ceramic shop craft production modifier no longer appears in the build production breakdown for all cities. Cool. Small thing. Economy and trade. Coins are produced faster if you have precious metals, precious stones, but far slower if you do not. Get that gold. Good. Good. Yeah, they are still trying to figure this out, right? Like they're still trying to figure out how to use coins. I think this was another big issue at the beginning of the game. You need a lot of coins. I know, shocking. If you want to run your economy, you need a lot of coins for later buildings, but the amount of buildings which could actually produce coins were laughable. Like you had such a big issue with that. And now they try to add more buildings, they try to add more limits, right? And now they are trying to make it faster if you actually have the metals and precious stones, which is good. So they are still working on that. Mint now requires metal ingots and money instead of generic materials. Again, good. They're trying to figure that out and make it more reasonable. Adjusted cocoa, shellfish, saffron, sugar harvesting. Cocoa sugar yields reduced. Shellfish give precious stones. Saffron can get flowers. Okay, yeah, I get it. Brewed coffee acts as an amenity for 10 plus percent productivity. Nice. That's a nice buff. Perfume amenities gains 5 plus prosperity. Okay, that's good. Yeah, make perfume even stronger. Fishing nets give significant food. Industrial fishing farm boost food output significantly. My God. Ah, I have been talking about this since the release of the game, right? Like everyone was asking me, "Oh, should I get a legacy territory? Should I get that?" And I was like, "Well, is there something important there?" No, it's just for food. Then the answer is definitely no. Like 100%, don't waste your level up on that. And now I have to see how much food this really is. But it was so ridiculous that fish was not giving you a lot of food. It was so bad. So finally, they're doing something about it. And in the future, I might actually look into that and doing the math a little bit and to see how it really pans out. But that would take a bit of time. Um, but great, great. Grocers now buff farm harvest rates instead of happiness. Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah. Still trying to figure out the food as I see it. All right. Units in combat. Spearman units no longer incur material maintenance. Horseman food maintenance increased from 1 to 2. And enemy based units have a 1 plus food maintenance. I never understood why they didn't. But here we are now. Cool. Spearman material cost reduced. Higher level units are more expensive. That's super interesting. I think that like the tanks are now, instead of taking 140 production, they now take 300. That's good. Like it always felt a little bit weird on how easy you could actually produce units without really being good at production, right? You never really cared for your production too much, and the production became pretty sloppy because it didn't matter. It didn't really matter with the production. So they're trying to fix that. Added back retreat ability for scouts. Okay. Expanded auto explorer to include military units and ships. That's nice. Increase the fortify based tactics buff to 30 plus percent strength. Finally. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one because you never really used the fortify based tactics because I think it had the same, if not 5% more stats than the 10% the 10% strength buff on everything, right? You would compare it to the other one, which just gives you flat 10%, and then you have the, oh, but you are getting 10 or 15% when you are fortifying, and everyone was just like, why? I can get out flat 10%. What? That's so much more important. Why would I go with fortify? Right. So the 30% could actually make a pretty big dent, and we have to see how that plays out. Adjust the city population changes for pacing. Restored giving region claims after each city level up. Took them longer than I thought it would, because as far as I knew, the community was not too happy about this, that it didn't anymore. It was kind of bizarre to remove this ability of just, looking forward to something and getting a region claim every level up and then change that. That was so weird. I never understood that. Tier 5 cities now provide an expert. Neat. That's neat. Tier 26 and up cities provide 2 claims to make super cities a thing. This would be very interesting. Amenity slots continued beyond tier 20 to have a new cap of 25. Like, man, in the previous patch, they basically tried to contain the cities a little bit more, and now they just say, nah, F it, let's turn it around and let's just make mega cities. Let's just go completely ham on the size of your cities. And I'm really looking forward to that because I think the community likes that idea to have like this gigantic city, right? Increased population requirement to level up cities, rewarding good health management. Good, because let's be real here, this was pretty easy to do. And even with very low health management, your city would still kind of grow, right? So, yeah, glad that they are finally doing something about it. Low health in cities further reduces population growth. Fantastic. Reduce city research output at a lower city levels by 1 to improve pacing. Also good. That's a good thing. It's a small thing, but it's a good thing. Technology. Updated technologies to obsolete various units. We already talked about this. Adjusted late game tech cost to increase gradually. Good. Flowers are now immediately harvestable. Uh, okay. Nothing really too important here. Mosaic tiles, lamppost barrels unlocked by more tags. Good, because they were basically like, I think they were only 3 tags for each. So if you didn't get those, you would just miss out on them, I think, which is kind of insane, especially for the barrels. Um, good, good. Unlock the AI assistant with artificial intelligence tag instead of posthumanism. Yeah, that makes more sense from a narrative perspective. Government and policies. This is a big one. Monarchy now makes the capital provide more knowledge. Tall nations will benefit from monarchy. Monarchy's security buff is increased from 10 to 25 and prosperity from 10 to from 5 to 10. And without testing it a lot, I would say with that, monarchy is now becoming the government at the beginning till you reach mid to end game even. Monarchy is insane. Republic reduces capital population growth. White nations will benefit from Republic. Yeah. Okay, makes sense. Low tax tier gives fewer taxes. Medium high gives more tax money to making have low and medium tax rate distinct. Good. Because let's be real here, most people didn't really need the money too much, right? The money you got from it was enough, but they all wanted to get the quality of life perks. So you never really cared for medium or let alone high taxes. You never tried to reach that ever. So yeah, good. Let's make it more distinct. And I want to see how if that changes my approach to the tax tiers. Miscellaneous. Okay, this is not too important. They reduce the eyeglass buff from 2 to 1 per science building. Yikes. Um, it changed that. This is not too important. And then we have some UI changes, which is not too important. But what is important are the leader changes. So they have nearly touched every leader in the game, changed their talent, changed their perks, removed some, added some new ones. It's kind of insane what they have been doing here with the leaders. So let's get right to it. Updated Percuti leader trait, the Andean Masonry, boost harvest production at stone pits and their upgrades, increase Paragon spawn chance, increase engineer pick chance, all military improvements boost city siege defense, And the additional chance to spawn paragons and more likely to get engineers helps them the leverage or focus on the city development. So if you're wondering, okay, what is the boost? I looked it up in game and it's 100% now. Like, as of recording this video, it's like 100%. So that is a pretty big deal. Like that is a really big deal. And I think this is now, oh no, they're not telling you the percentage rate. So I have to play a little bit to see how much that now is. But that's good. If they I hope they didn't, please don't tell me the developers did see my leader tier list. Please don't. It wasn't really serious. Please don't. Because I remember that Pakuti was not good. I definitely ripped that leader a new one, and I'm truly sorry about that. John McDonald is the new leader, which came in with patch 1.1, and they immediately updated him. Boreal Forest leader boosts the harvest production of hunting camps, reduces hunting camps maintenance cost, boost housing in all cities by 3. I think with reduced, I think they actually removed it. Um, Minor leader traits updated to include adventurous, woodsman, and pacifist, and they removed the discipline trait, which kind of makes sense that you would focus on military buildings being built faster and you're a pacifist, and it's like, huh? um, but this is a pretty good update. This is a pretty good update. Askia Muhammad is now gold soul trait has been completely changed, no longer provides a buff based on the trading post, but increases harvest production at stone pits and their upgrades by 100%. So it's the same thing as here. And gains 5 plus prosperity and knowledge for each trade agreement in all cities, which is really interesting. That's quite a bit of prosperity you could get if you were playing nice. Focuses on production and trade with an early boost to a relationship that can be leveraged for alliances and trade, which is neat. Like, this is another leader I kind of was not so happy with in my tier list, so this is another huge upgrade. Updated Benito Juarez leader trait, son of the people. Gains additional housing from building government buildings. Insane. No longer gains an early extra expert due to balance concern. Yeah, remember when I kind of glanced over this and was like, nah, nah, this is not too big. Turns out I was completely wrong. This is such a big deal. Um, Experts are really powerful, and gaining an extra expert was a bit insane. So they completely removed it because they didn't know how to balance it. Like, yikes for everyone who loves to play Mexico. Um, ooh, that's rough. I'm feeling for you. Remains a development focused leader. We know that. Update George Washington leaders trait. Minuteman provides 1 plus speed to gunpowder infantry and modern infantry instead of specific formations. Hmm, I think that's better. Yeah, I think that's better. Because the specific formations were not great. So this is better. Provide bonus force strength to forces carrying out the fortify order. Well, that makes sense. Okay, you're getting a bonus there. Combined with changes to ambitious, makes Washington more expansionist and defense focused, especially early on. In the late game, enhanced speed improves infantry utility and compensates for reduced army cap. We have to see how that plays, but this might be better overall. Itzakotl leader trait, Flower Wars. Holy shit! If you ever thought that Itzakotl was already strong before the patch, after this patch, he is an S tier. I can already tell you that he is an absolute S tier. He is a monster now. Provides 20 growth to all cities after engaging in combat instead of buffing security and prosperity. Okay, you can say like this is just a change around, right? But I think that's better. Grants 5 plus prestige after defeating an enemy force during a skirmish war. Let's be honest here, a lot of people are using skirmish wars. includes 100% force heal rates. And yeah, you want to be super aggressive and you will grow quickly. Like he is insane now. He is absolutely insane now. Updated Nefertiti's leader trait. Also, Nefertiti is now A, if not even S rank with the changes, which is kind of crazy. Race of the Aden. Farms built on rivers provide additional prosperity to their city. I think it's, what was it, 5? 10 prosperity per farm built on a river? 5. 5 plus. Yeah. Again, insane. Absolutely insane. Because they removed this perk more or less from the tiles which are at the coast for the Greek leader, right? Because it was too powerful. And I know rivers are harder to find than the coast tiles, but that is crazy. Replace the museum buff with bonus to established relationships per culture improvements. Oh, okay. Nefertiti focuses on internal development and diplomacy, benefiting culture and trade focused players. Yep. Keep in mind that now you might ask, why is this an S rank? This seems like a relatively minor change. Yeah, now we are talking about the minor traits and how they changed. And keep in mind, agrarian is something she also has. Boost harvest production by plus 100% to remain more beneficial long term. That's why she is now an S tier. She can produce so much food, and if you have a lot of rivers around you, which is a high possibility, you will have also so much prosperity. It's not even funny. Like, as I said, she is now insane. She is so good. We have the perfectionist minor trait, reduces build production on industry improvements. Previous craft production penalty was too harmful. Yeah. Thankfully, they removed that. Completing industry improvement provides additional prestige as a trade-off. So that's a nice thing, and that is much better. This was definitely one of the most devastating traits in the game, and I'm glad that they changed it. Ambitious minor trait, adjusted to -1 land force cap and +1 city cap, which is a pretty big deal. Um, I think this is now pretty strong because the land force cap, you can kind of find a way around it, even with the nerfs to the forces. But having a city cap, it is so hard to get city caps in the game. This is a pretty big deal. So this is a buff. Oh boy, here it comes. Updated efficient minor leader trait. No longer directly boosts craft production. Previously too powerful. You think so? You think so? They definitely watched my tier ranking, didn't they? Because here's the thing, if you haven't, let me explain this very quickly. Whenever a leader had the efficient trait, they automatically became A tier. They needed some really heavy debuffs to not be A tier because of being efficient. Efficient was so powerful. It was even more powerful than the Otto von Bismarck major trait he had. It was so ridiculous when you looked at Germany and von Bismarck, and you looked at this major trait, and then you had leaders who basically had a minor trait, and that minor trait was as powerful, if not even more powerful than what Bismarck had, and it was just laughable. Right, so it was too powerful and now provides a 10% boost to build production of industrial improvements. Ooh, rough. Absolute. This is not too great. This is not shit, but in comparison to what it was before, this is a major change. This is a major change. And again, it would change a lot of leaders and what the leaders can now provide. this is also why I say like my whole tier list, like throw that out of the window. I mean, it wasn't really worth much before that because I said I don't take it too serious with it. Play what you like and what makes sense to you always. But there were some numbers behind my decisions, right? Even though they were personal opinions sometimes. With those changes, like that tier list is completely outdated. Updated, lavish minor trade provides now two merchants, grants 10 plus established relationship with all other nations, encouraging early trade. This is not bad. This is not bad. Mercantile leader trade provides 1 plus merchant, grants 5 plus established relationship with all nations. Updated woodsman minor leader trade, which is also now boosting the harvesting production by 50% at logging camps, and the upgrades to remain beneficial long term. And with that, woodsman is a really, really powerful trade. Like even before the changes, it was good early game, but then lost a lot of steam in mid game. And with 50% now, that's a big one. That's a big one. Like, this is pretty big. I definitely have to fool around with this patch a bit, but I think overall, those are some really good changes. Like, there hasn't been a single change where I was like, huh? Are, are you trying things to see if they stick? I never had that feeling with this patch yet. I have to fool around with it, but yeah, this feels fantastic. With that said, thank you so much for watching. If you want to read the patch notes yourself, I will link them in the video description if I'm not forgetting that again because I'm a dingus. But for everyone watching, thank you so much for doing so. I hope you have some fantastic holidays, and I will go back to my vacation, and then I will come back around the 6th of January with a lot more strategy games. With that said, thanks so much for watching. Stay safe.